Charlie Hedge is beginning the challenge of a lifetime. A solo hike in the Sierra Nevada mountains. With his 50th birthday approaching, he's out to prove he's still got what it takes to survive alone in the wilderness.
I love the solitude, I love nature, I love the outdoors. It's something I always wanted to do. Considered myself being somewhat self-sufficient. And so I think I kind of went up there alone in an attempt to prove that to myself, I think.
Charlie has hiked in the mountains many times before, but always with friends. He knows that going alone will be his toughest challenge yet.
I'm not getting any younger, and I'm not as in good a shape as I used to be, and I just wanted to get lost for a week. Walk away my worries.
Charlie's long-term girlfriend of 7 years, Julie, knows what this solo trip means to him.
Charlie has spent a lot of time, I think, on his own and alone. He likes to go and do things by himself. He got this wild hair, this idea that he really wanted to go and do this. And I knew that there was no stopping him.
I remember we hugged and kissed. She wished me luck, told me to be careful, told me she loved me, and I told her the same.
He's a big kid. Charlie's a big kid.
Charlie has planned a challenging route, a 30-mile circuit which he hopes to complete in just 5 days. His first day's climb takes him high into the Sierra Nevada peaks. Here, 20 miles from civilization, he can enjoy the beauty and solitude. It's just him and nature.
The Sierra Nevada mountains, just a gorgeous spot. Being alone in the wilderness appeals to me because of the beauty. I just think Mother Nature has so much to offer. Unspoiled, quiet. As far as me going solo, Julie certainly had her concerns.
I was concerned that maybe he wasn't in shape for this. He hadn't done a hike this length in a very long time.
But Charlie makes good progress up the mountain. And after a grueling hike, he can reap the rewards of being self-sufficient.
Part of the allure of going up there is fishing. You get high enough in the mountains and there's golden trout. Catching some fish and eating them that night. Nothing beats fresh fish. I felt real good that first day.
In September, conditions in the Sierra Nevada mountains can change instantly and dramatically. But in his enthusiasm to get going, Charlie ignored weather warnings. By early evening, a fierce wind blows in, and his peace is shattered.
Wednesday night, the wind started picking up. And that's the first time I really felt exposed. You know you're alone, the wind's picking up, you're not sleeping, you're wondering, this isn't any fun, you know? I really became concerned for the first time Thursday when it really started to snow and the wind was just howling.
The wind becomes a vicious snowstorm, and Charlie hunkers down for the night, hoping it will pass.
When I woke up, pretty much snow everywhere. Woo! I got up and literally I was half buried in snow. But the weather was kind of breaking.
Although the skies are clearing, the new snow has transformed the landscape. Navigating the route ahead will be a formidable task.
At that point, there's really no trail. And if there was, it was buried in snow. I've been up there before years ago, and it just did not look familiar.
For Charlie, this trip was to be the test of his ability to survive in the wild. But he now faces a difficult dilemma: to cut his trip short and head back down the mountain, or forge ahead with his original plan.
I made the decision to continue. Get up and over the pass and get down the east side. The weather should be better down there, certainly. So I dug the snow out, packed everything up, headed up to the pass.
Charlie struggles on for 2 hours, but hiking blind across the snowdrifts, he's way out of his depth.
It was just very tough. I realized that I might have made a mistake proceeding. But my rationality tried to overtake me, and I told myself, you'll be okay.
Having committed himself to going forward, Charlie continues on over the hazardous pass. But here, the terrain is perilous, and now the weather takes another dramatic turn for the worse.
It really started to snow, and the wind was just howling. It was just blowing in my face.
Despite the worsening conditions, Charlie is determined to complete his ambitious hike. But as the raging blizzard intensifies, he starts to realize that he's in over his head.
While I was thinking what to do, my face is getting all cold from the wind, and I remember just turning around with the wind at my back. I don't remember tripping. I don't remember flying through the air. I just remember I hit my head. I don't know how far I fell, but it had to be 30, 40 feet at a time. You have no control. You just hope you land and survive.
Charlie helplessly plummets to certain death. But a rock ledge, jutting out of the cliff face, breaks his fall and saves his life.
The ledge that I landed on was no more than maybe 6 feet deep and maybe 10 feet wide. I looked up. I couldn't go up. It was too steep. Looked down. It was steeper than heck. I was trapped on a rock. It's just an awful feeling.
Teetering on the edge of a 500-foot drop, Charlie must literally cling on for his life. But the fall has shattered his right wrist and badly damaged his spine, and the blow to his head has left him with severe concussion. Blasted by the freezing wind, his survival instincts kick in.
Soon after, I was just overcome with the pain of my injuries. My whole right arm was just numb from pain. It immediately swelled up. And the right side of my head hurt like mad. I knew that the only way I had a chance to survive is to get warm. So I wanted to get that tent up and get inside my bag and try and warm myself. I was in such a confined space, there was no room to move. The ground was hard. I couldn't stake it into place and pull it tight like you would normally do. So I finally got on my bag and rubbed myself, tried to get warm and dry off. I distinctly remember, for one split second, realizing how lucky I was to survive. I kind of got warm. I kind of gained my senses a little bit. And I thought, well, I got a cell phone, I could try that.
Okay. Hello.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed. Please call your operator to help you.
And of course, it didn't work. Beep, beep, beep. Because of the lack of the signal.
No. Oh, no.
I became very despondent because I knew at that point there's no way I'm gonna ever reach anybody from the outside world.
Isolated and trapped on the ledge, Charlie is in urgent need of medical attention. Worse still, he isn't due to finish his hike until Saturday, in a day's time. Until then, no one will even suspect he's in trouble.
All I could do at that point is wait. So I surmised that if anybody's gonna come looking for me, they're gonna wait 2 days. So my job at that point was to try and survive and bide my time until Monday.
But Charlie's food supplies are running dangerously low. He only has a handful of snacks left.
I knew I had to kind of ration what little food I had left, which is mainly trail mix and granola bars. I was hungry all the time.
Once his food supplies run out, Charlie knows he won't be able to last very long without help.
Realizing that, thinking that they quit looking for me, I thought I had to, I can't stay here. I'll dwindle and die.
Charlie faces his 4th night on the mountain. Without food or water, he knows he can't survive another day, and there's little chance of rescue. It's life or death, but can he save himself?
I was certain that they stopped looking for me. And so what am I gonna do now? I thought I'm gonna have to try and get out by myself.
Pinned to an icy ledge, Charlie Hench realizes that rescuers are looking for him in the wrong place and may never find him. He must take action or surely die. His only choice is to attempt to scale the sheer rock face, despite his injuries.
I went into panic mode, thinking, if I'm going to survive this, I got to try and get out. I knew I couldn't go down. It was out of the question. And I kind of surveyed the landscape above me. And I said, I'll try this way, up and to the left, as I face the mountain.
But with a badly damaged spine and broken wrist, every inch Charlie climbs is agony.
My hand is broken, so it's most difficult. You're kind of hugging these rocks one-handed. It was just very tough. I made it under, around, over these humongous boulders. I scrambled over, 3 or 4 rocks. And then just, I couldn't go up anymore. Didn't know what to do, so I just sat on the rock right where I was kind of like trapped. I was trapped on an even smaller rock, and I thought I couldn't go down and couldn't go up. I was literally stuck even in a worse spot. And it was early evening, and so I didn't know what to do. And so I made the decision, well, I'm just gonna stay here. What else can I do?
Charlie's shattered wrist and weakness from dehydration make scaling the near vertical cliff face impossible. Away from the shelter of his tent, he is now totally exposed to the icy wind, and the temperature plummets.
It was just so uncomfortable. Not only could you not sleep, but you're just uncomfortable in the position you were. And I thought it was, I didn't think I was gonna make it. A, I was so uncomfortable. B, they stopped looking for me. So I just laid awake all night, looked at the moon.
That was the darkest time, I'd say. I was very discouraged at that point. I did not sleep well during those nights. I thought something had happened, that I would never see Charlie again.
As the night wears on, exposed to the freezing temperatures, Charlie risks dying of hypothermia.
It was the longest night of my life. I had to stay awake all night. Didn't have to, had no choice. I wrote a few things out, like a lousy attempt at a will, because I thought it was all over, and I just kind of, divvied up the little things I have to people I know and love. It's an awful feeling.
Against the odds, Charlie survives the bitter night. But the ordeal has taken its toll.
I was not going to spend any more time on this rock, and so I chose the lesser evils, which was the ledge. And I'm looking forward to climbing back in my bag, and I was gonna write some last words. So I scrambled my way back down. It took me 20 or 30 minutes with one arm and 2 feet and hoping for the best.
But just as Charlie has all but given up on life, he finds a last possible lifeline.
I'm thinking maybe I could start a fire. It never occurred to me to start a friggin' fire. Maybe I could light a fire, you know, as a signal for another helicopter or other hikers. But I didn't have much. I had some old magazines, and I had some plastic slippers. I figured, well, plastic sandals might smoke. But I had like 3, 4 matches left. My hands were just all torn up. My wrist was broken, so I think I tried to strike him with my left hand. First match, you know, lit and wouldn't light the paper. Second match got wet because my fingers were so wet to begin with. I forget what happened in the third match. And so at that point, that's when I started to say, well, I'm just gonna maybe go to sleep. I was so tired.
Back home, Charlie's friend, Dave Gra, is growing more concerned about the failure to find his buddy. As a trained pilot, he decides he needs to get involved in the search and try to save his friend.
Tuesday night, I think I woke up several times during the night and couldn't help but think of Charlie and thought that, well, I need to do something.
35 years earlier, Dave's brother got lost in a storm hiking the same trail that Charlie has been following. He has a hunch that the helicopters have been looking in the wrong valley.
I was thinking about my brother's accident. If it's snowing or windy or something like that, it can be downright dangerous. It can be fairly easy to get lost. So I had to climb very, very hard and still had to probably circle around a bit to get up over the mountains. Look down and try to scour the rocks for someone that might be stuck there.
But this aerial search also ends in failure.
I couldn't help but be disappointed that he wasn't there. I wasn't going to find him, and that probably was not good given the weather and the time that had gone by.
After almost 6 days, trapped alone on an icy rock ledge, Charlie has given up all hope of surviving his ordeal. Death itself now seems a welcome escape.
At that point, I'm so depressed and tired and hungry and dehydrated, thinking no one was looking for me anymore. So I was really in despair. I was just totally numb. It was probably my lowest point.
Charlie knows that rescue teams are looking for him in the wrong place, and that no one will find him. It's only a matter of time before he dies.
I was a beaten horse, you know. I had a buck knife, and I thought it'd be easier if I ended. done that. I got too many friends that love me, and I love life too much. That's no way to go for a man like me.
Just weeks away from his 50th birthday, this trip was supposed to rejuvenate his life. Now, Charlie waits for a slow, agonizing death.
I hear this plane, and he's at, you know, he's above me. This guy is, you know, almost at my sight. And so I got my fishing pole with my stuff sack on, and I'm waving it.
I'm here.
And then he goes by, and I wasn't sure he saw me.
Over here.
So then he turns around, he comes like right toward me again. Wave my bag. He does the wing dip, you know, like you see on Star Wars and that. And I just thought that was the best thing that happened right there.
After nearly a week, trapped alone on a small rock ledge, Charlie Hench is finally found. Following a gut instinct, his friend Dave decided to search the far side of the mountain pass, close to where his brother was lost, one last time.
Well, it was pretty amazing. I mean, I guess Charlie could be described as a needle and the mountain's a haystack, and I did find that needle in a haystack. I've actually been to the ledge where he was stuck, and I've been there during the summer. And it's a pretty scary place. Charlie could have been killed. My experience in that whole thing is that it turned out good. I mean, Charlie and I have quite a bond that we wouldn't have had before, and that's something pretty special.
When we got the call that they found Charlie, I mean, it was pure just elation. We both just fell apart, and you could just hear it in his voice that it was pretty traumatic. So I was just very thankful. He's a survivor. That's just, he's a tough guy.
Charlie received emergency treatment for his broken wrist, lower spine, and head injuries. And when he returned home, was welcomed like a hero.
I finally got back to town and saw Julie. I was just thrilled. She's a big part of my life. And I was just very happy to see her. It was just the little things that kept me alive that I wanted to return to, that I love so much.
Rockies.
We were going to go up and basically do my standard sightseeing flight. And our expectation was to go up and be back for lunch and then head home.
Out in open country, the friends find flying is the perfect way to watch the local wildlife.
Larry was looking here, looking there, pointing. He was like a kid in a candy store.
It was gorgeous, and all positives and nothing but fun and Yahoo, yay.
An hour into the flight, the friends decide to head higher into the mountains. In front of them is a vast ridge of snow-capped peaks. But as Justin tries to pull up and over them,
I looked at the instruments. You have a feet per minute indicator, up or down. And we were doing almost 800 feet a minute down.
a strong downdraft is dragging them straight into the mountains.
If I didn't do anything, I mean, that's gonna be a horrible crash. You gotta start making decisions. So I tried to turn the plane. But the stall warning would beep. If you stall, then you fall out of the sky. What I needed to do was get us on the ground without killing anybody.
Justin's pilot training kicks in. He knows he has to stay calm.
At that point, it became about slowing the aircraft down to minimize the impact as much as possible.
Your adrenaline goes off like crazy.
All of a sudden, you're about to die.
Time slows down.
We hit the trees.
Big, horrible banging noises.
Miraculously, Justin is completely unscathed. But the three friends are far from out of trouble.
The first thing that I remember seeing was the fuel. It was just like, oh my God, that's fuel. That scared me.
One spark could turn the wreck into a giant fireball.
Larry! We gotta get out now, Larry! Fuel's everywhere, we gotta go!
I told Larry, you have to get out of the aircraft right now. And he told me that his leg hurt. I explained to him he has to get out now if he doesn't want to burn to death.
Finally got it together. I managed to go backward out of the plane.
The plane could blow at any second. But Tommy is unconscious. He's taken a serious blow to the head.
Wake up! Tommy, wake up, man, we gotta get out of here! Tommy! We got fuel everywhere, wake up, wake up!
I yelled at him and he didn't respond.
Tommy! Please!
I was very concerned that I'd killed one of my best friends.
Tommy, come on!
Justin has to haul Tommy's 220-pound dead weight out of the plane.
The first thing I remember is a horrible pain in my side, and I believe that is when Justin broke my ribs.
The three friends have to get away from the fuel-soaked wreck. But Larry can't walk.
As soon as I put any weight on the leg, I just fell over. I immediately fell over and screamed.
Larry, get up, come on, stand up. Stand up. Attaboy, come on, go.
When I got him to his feet, the pain in my side was excruciating. But I felt it was more important to get away from the gasoline than it was to worry about the pain.
The three men somehow managed to get far enough away and out of danger.
I looked at the plane. It was, wow, we could have all died. I thought, we're pretty lucky to walk out of that one.
Tommy and Larry are both seriously injured. As well as his broken ribs, Tommy has also taken a massive impact to his head. There's no way of telling if he has brain damage or internal bleeding.
The most life-threatening injury I had was the blow to the side of my head that had knocked me unconscious.
Larry's left foot took the full impact of the crash. leaving his lower leg and ankle badly broken.
It was useless, so I couldn't walk. There wasn't much that could be done for me. It had to be left alone.
Tommy and Larry both need emergency medical care before it's too late. But the men are stranded, miles from rescue, in an inhospitable mountain range. Justin is the only one uninjured. And as the pilot, he feels it's up to him to save them.
I definitely had a deep sense of responsibility to protect my friends and to get them the help that they needed. So we're in this situation. What do you do to make it better? I needed to do something. I was thinking about going back to the aircraft to make a radio call.
Now pilot Justin Kirkbride has to risk turning on the electrics if he's going to transmit an SOS call and save his two severely injured friends.
For me, my thought process was that I was probably going to burn to death. But I just decided that it was worth the risk. I truly believed that as soon as I turned the batteries on, that it was game over. I took a deep breath and nothing happened.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
So I made my call.
November 3535 Echo. Cessna 172 due north of Durango in a canyon unknown.
But there's no response to his mayday call.
You know, I had no way of knowing if there was any signal that got out at all. And realistically, nobody knows where we are. My initial thought was that I need to get help here.
They're in the middle of a mountain wilderness. And there's no guarantee the rescue services even know they've crashed. Larry is completely immobile, and Tommy's massive hit to the head could develop into serious brain damage if he's not treated soon.
I just put in a mayday call. I don't know if it got out.
I definitely felt like I'd let them down.
I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
I needed to do something to get them the help that they needed.
Look. It was an accident. It wasn't your fault.
He felt really badly about it. So he was going to do everything he could to get us off that mountain as quickly as possible.
Justin believes the only way of getting help is by hiking out into the icy wilderness, unprepared and totally alone. He knows he's risking frostbite and even hypothermia, but he can't stay here and watch his buddy slowly die.
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine. I think I can get help.
Justin remembers flying over the town of Durango 10 minutes before they crashed.
I can get to Durango.
I knew that it probably wasn't more than maybe 15 miles.
Look, you're gonna have to talk to Larry. Say something. Reassure him. All right?
Yeah, okay. Larry. Larry. Have you ever been in a helicopter? No. I'm gonna get you one, okay? Soon.
Justin faces an added challenge. He has to get there by nightfall. Temperatures in the Colorado Rockies can plummet to -30 degrees as darkness falls. All three men are only lightly dressed and could freeze to death by morning.
Dark to me was a definitive end, so I was more worried about getting help before dark than anything else.
But Justin is actually over 20 miles from Durango, in the middle of a vast, unforgiving wilderness. The rugged terrain and freezing conditions will test him to the absolute limit.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Go. Come on. Come on.
You know, walking in snow and, no trails, it's not easy.
Justin has no map or compass, and only a vague sense of which direction he's heading.
I walked down to the end of the little gully that we were in.
And he's shocked by what lies ahead.
I didn't really recognize how far it was until I could look down the canyon. It looked like the canyon went on forever. I mean, it looked like a really long way. This is impossible. Let's be real here.
Back at the plane wreck, Tommy's concerned it's not just the mountains that could jeopardize Justin's chances of getting rescue soon.
After Justin walked off, I thought that I didn't keep him there quite long enough to see that he wasn't internally injured and he could easily walk down the hill 100 yards away and fall down and bleed out from an internal injury and never know.
Tommy is seriously worried about his friend. He knows Justin's body was pumping with adrenaline, which acts as a natural painkiller, and now its effects may have worn off.
Between the time of the crash and the time Justin left, again, that was not a long period of time. It was probably 25 minutes. So 25 minutes with adrenaline still pumping, it's hard to assess somebody's condition.
All Tommy and Larry can do is sit and wait, knowing that Justin's efforts to save them might be slowly killing him.
If Justin hadn't made it out, if he'd fallen and died on the trail or whatever, then we were not in good shape.
The task facing Justin is near impossible. He's completely unprepared for the freezing night that looms ahead. And between him and the nearest town are miles of mountains and waist-deep snow.
I knew that that probably wasn't doable before dark. But I would have to keep moving because otherwise I was probably going to freeze to death.
What was that?
I don't know. At one point during the night, we heard a An animal crashing through the woods?
Whatever it is, it's nearby.
Are there bears in that area? Are there wolf? Are there anything else that might be dangerous?
I said to Larry, I hope that's not a bear smelling my blood trail.
There was so much blood everywhere from Tommy. The animals, particularly carnivores, they look for wounded. Something he might come looking for you that's hungry. I'd survived the crash and more worried about what was next.
There was that one little sharp jolt of unreality, thinking that a bear might cross my blood spore and follow it to us. But it was momentary.
Tommy has a reality check. It becomes clear to him that the chances of a bear attack this time of year, when most are hibernating, are slim. But by now, Larry has worked himself into a frenzy.
I was purely frightened at that point. There's a feeling of you're pretty small and alone out there.
He was just a nervous wreck, you know, thinking about this bear creeping up on us and snatching him out of the hole.
If a bear had come, what would have happened? I'd have been dead.
Tommy knows he has to stop Larry from panicking. He's wasting energy he can't afford to lose.
I knew I had to figure out something to ease his mind.
Tommy struggles back to the plane one more time.
So I've searched around in there, and the most portable thing I could find that might work would be the fire extinguisher. So I took that with me back. I told him that if he saw a bear coming at us, that he should point it at its face and discharge the fire extinguisher.
Use it.
Almost immediately, when Larry had something that he could do, you know, that he could actively do to keep himself from being attacked by bears, he calmed down.
Soon, whatever creature was lurking in the forest disappears into the night. Justin Kirkbride and a helicopter crew have been searching for them without any luck. The chopper has exceeded its flying hours and has to return to base. Time is running out.
I've done everything except finish it. And ultimately, everything is important, but finishing is the most important. And I'm definitely distraught over the idea of leaving. I mean, we're so close, we can't stop.
Look, these are my friends out here. What if they were your friends? Just give me 20 more minutes. One pass.
Yeah, okay.
The two brothers-in-law are fighting hypothermia and constant pain to survive.
Oh, God, tell me this is really bad. I don't think I can make it through the night. Just keep it together, Larry. We're gonna make it.
Tommy still has no way of knowing if his head injury is life-threatening. The crash impact may have left his brain badly bruised or bleeding internally.
I wasn't sure that I'd be awake all night. I could possibly go into a coma for no telling how long. And I was worried about letting Larry down, and because if I died, he would probably die too.
Tommy. Tommy. Wake up. The helicopter's come back. Wake up! Hey! Hey! Help! Hey, we're here! Over here! Help!
When they came back the second time, they were flying much slower.
We're here!
The lights were bright when they flashed the lights across us because they were much, much closer.
Hey! Hey!
The first time, they had come so close and yet not found us. And that's when I remembered that I had a camera in my pocket. So I got out of the hole, walked over into kind of a clearing. I had 5 flashes left. And so I took my camera out and aimed at the helicopters as they were flying along their route. I flashed it as they came by. First low, next a bit up, next straight across from us, next further behind us. But they didn't see us. I fired off the last of my flashes. The 5th flash. And the helicopter paused and started searching with the searchlight. And then they spotted the airplane.
It was fantastic. It was like hallelujah. It was the best present, the best thing that ever happened to me.
Justin has delivered on his promise to get his friends help.
I knew that we'd found them. I've done everything I could possibly do. And so, yeah, I was definitely relieved and happy.
The helicopter crew search for a clearing from which to pick up the 2 injured and exhausted men.
And all of a sudden, the helicopter bumped a couple times, like some turbulence. And I thought, wow, that was weird. And we just spun around and bam, into the side of the mountain.
It's the second time Justin Kirkbride has been in an air crash in 24 hours. As the night drags on, Tommy and Larry start to wonder what has happened to their friend.
We're sort of like, well, where'd the helicopter go? Why did it go away and where did it go?
What started as a routine sightseeing trip has turned into a fight for survival. As it gets to the coldest part of the night, the battle with constant pain and injury has left them with no fight left.
I started thinking about loved ones and my dogs and, you know, whether we were actually going to live through the night. I was tired, I was aching. I was just ready to close my eyes.
You can't. If you give up, you're done. And I started to have those thoughts. That's a real low. That was the lowest point for me. At that point, pretty soon thereafter, I started regularly yelling.
Hello!
I wanted to hear someone's voice.
Hello! 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 Hey!
All of a sudden, I heard someone yelling back, and someone answered. And that is a wonderful, wonderful sound. That is the best sound ever.
After nearly 19 hours fighting to survive, Tommy and Larry's ordeal is over.
I felt like I could, just let myself go and, surrender to the pains because I no longer really had to do anything. I was done with my night in the woods.
So I knew that we were going to make it at that point. We're basically saved. It was just the best thing ever.
Larry and Tommy are saved by a ground-based rescue team working independently from the helicopter crew. The team was dispatched from Durango the minute the plane had been reported missing. The rescuers were guided by the coordinates Justin had given them and followed his tracks in the snow. Under a mile away, Justin and the helicopter crew had survived their crash. The helicopter's main rotor had hit a tree, and it had fallen 70 feet to the ground. But all 8 passengers made it out completely unscathed. Larry and Tommy were airlifted to the hospital in Durango. They were reunited with Justin later that day. None of the 3 friends had any lasting injuries from the crash.
Any time that you crash an airplane out of the sky and walk away from it, there is some amount of luck involved.
A lot of that luck broke because of the common sense decisions that were made by those 2 guys. I would not be here if it weren't for them, no question.
It wouldn't have taken much for me to have killed Tommy and Larry. I could have been telling this story without a smile on my face, I guarantee it, without a lot of changes.